Hello, fellow human. Hope you guys have a great day, and let's read some r/I don't work your lady stories. To the first one. I don't work there. So basically, I'm a customs officer working in an airport in Ireland, and I control passengers in a luggage hall coming into the country. We get a lot of American passengers coming in, and they ask a lot of questions, which is normal, and we happily answer them as long as they don't take the piss and ask a million questions each. Today was different. Today, I met my first American Karen. It's 6 a.m. I'm tired, yet to have my coffee. The clock have gone back an hour, so I've had less sleep than I would like. But I stay professional and courteous as I normally am. That's when I spot her, chin held high, sunglasses on, hair in a bun. She approaches at a brisk pace. Excuse me, sir. How much alcohol am I allowed to bring into the US from Ireland? Now, this might seem like a normal question, and to an extent it is. However, I don't work for the US Customs, nor do I work in the US. So I have no idea, which I try to explain to Karen. Sorry, madam, I'm not sure. You will have to search online. This is what you can do so for US. Oh, and she did not like that at all. Excuse me, this is your job. You're supposed to know this stuff. I try again to explain that I do not work for the US Customs and I do not know that information. This went back and forth for several minutes, and eventually I told Karen that I would not be explaining it to her again and that she would have to leave the luggage hall. How dare you! I want to speak with your manager. At this stage, I have lost all my patience. I simply could not care anymore. I do, however, have a plethora of powers that I can use to finish this wonderful conversation. I look her dead in the eye and say, Madam, I have entertained you for long enough. If you cannot understand me, you will not understand anyone here. I'm a customs officer, not a customer service. What you're doing is obstructing a customs officer from doing their duties, which is an offense and can lead you to your arrest. There's the exit. Good day. Karen, now red-faced and quite visibly frustrated and probably offended, huffs and puffs and finally screw off. I then went for a much-needed coffee break. Well, good for you, OP. Handling a Karen without caffeine is like a punishment. The second story. Fired from Target. About 25 years ago, I had just gotten off my shift with a law enforcement agency. I had not bothered to fully change out my uniform, and I still have my tan tactical pants on. And a brand new red Henley type shirt that I pulled over my department polo shirt. And at the time, I decided to stop at the local Target in order to do some last minute Christmas shopping. Because I'm also 6 feet 6 in, I also typically get people asking me to get something off of higher shelves. At one point, I had a Karen following me asking me to get things off of higher shelves for her, etc. And then she started asking me about pricing, and I had no idea why, not even thinking about my tan pants and red shirt, so I asked her to please leave me alone so I could do my shopping in peace. Little did I know that she would go and find a manager and complain about the really tall employee ignoring her needs. While peacefully shopping, I was approached by a Karen and the manager, with the manager telling me that I was supposed to be providing customer service, especially during the holiday season, and that rudeness would not be tolerated in her store, and that I should clock out and not come back to work, and that I would not be getting my employee discount with my purchase that evening. I had nothing. Simply nothing to say, because I've never been fired from Target before. I took the last of my shopping to the checkout lane where the manager and the Karen followed me. It was that time, while I was checking out, that I opened my wallet with my badge and credentials in it, and then had the presence of mind to say something to the manager, something along the lines of, do you even know who works for you? The Karen harumphed off, and the manager's soul seemed to depart her body. Best part was the cashier and security guard guy cracking up. Well, I wish this ended in OP getting a discount, preferably higher than the staff rate. The third story, guy in armor must be in charge. So a bit of backstory. Back in 2018, when this occurred, I had saved up quite a bit of money for my job as a shift lead in the food service industry. So what did I, a 17 years old male, do with that money? I bought a suit of steel plate armor, helmet and all, something I had always wanted to do since I knew what a knight was. I had bought it primarily to wear it at the local Renaissance festival, but took every opportunity to put it on that I could. And this wasn't some thin ceremonial or LARP stuff. It was the real deal. 16 gauge steel, thick leather straps, over 100 pounds altogether. It could stop a sword. At the time and currently, I stood at 6 feet 5 inches and weighed a grand total of 140 pounds soaking wet. Not the most intimidating on my own, but with the armor on, I was scary AF, or so people have told me. Anyways, on to the story. That October, my mom signed my entire family up to volunteer at a nearby hospital, trunk or treat the Saturday before Halloween, a night I had off from work. So, I suited up, the rest of my family got into their Renfest costumes, and off we went. When we arrived, we reported to the event director, the real manager, and were assigned our duties. My parents were to hand out candy from the back of their car and keep an eye on the kids walking through, like most of the adults. The youngest of my siblings, 11 female, was sent to help oversee some of the games going on inside and around the hospital, and the oldest, 15 female, was sent with me. And what was my wondrous task? A glorified traffic cone. My job was to stand at one of the entrances to the portion of the parking lot the event was taking place in and keep cars from driving through. Here to join the trunk or treat, go around the hospital to take the exit side of the lot and someone else would direct you further. Just trying to leave the hospital? Sorry, but you're going to have to turn around. No exit here. There was another entrance, but other volunteers took care of it, and mine was where the line of trunk or treaters would wait while another group went through. It did make sense to put me here though. If you didn't notice the glow stick lanyard all volunteers were wearing, you definitely noticed the hulking 6 feet 5 guy encased in reflective steel standing in your headlights. And if you somehow didn't, I had a much better chance of surviving getting hit. So, there I stand for 2.5 hours directing traffic and taking pictures with a fair few of the kids waiting in line. Most were a bit scared of me, but with some encouragement from their parents and a lift of my helmet's visor to show that I was indeed a person under all the metal, they became very excited to meet a real knight. So, sometime between 2.5 and 3 hours on duty, I hear a bit of yelling coming from the other parking lot entrance. I didn't think much of it because there are a lot of people around being loud, especially kids. So I keep on keeping on. Then a moment later, just as I finish another photo OP, there's a tap on my pauldron shoulder armor. I turn and there stands one of the volunteers from another entrance looking a bit exasperated. Hey man, sorry to bother you, but can you come with me for a moment? We could use you over here. A little bit confused, wondering if maybe someone needed a bathroom break and needed me to take over or something, I said sure. I folded him back. As we got closer, the shouting got louder and I started to make some of it out. I don't care what the duck is going on tonight. I want to leave through here. The other exit goes to ... such and such, road and construction. There is a pain in the butt. Where is your ducking manager? I will make him make you let me through. This is ridiculous. Do you have any? Blah, 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 blah. Now, I see a car stopped at the second entrance and a red-faced man in the driver's seat with the window down tearing into the second volunteer traffic cone. As we approached, the guy grabbed me and ran ahead, blocking the man's view of me as I got closer. Alright man, he said, here's the manager like you wanted. About ducking time. Wait, what? Is he a clown like you two? I swear to God, I will... At this point, the volunteer who had me follow him stepped aside and I came forward, right next to the car's window. Their jerkwat's mouth dropped and his face went a few shades lighter as I lumbered to a shop. What's the problem here, I asked, finally figuring out what was going on. I also made my voice a little deeper than it actually was. The man just stared at me for a couple of seconds, mouth agape, still not sure which was worse for him, the beast in medieval armor or the fact that he saw his own stupid face reflected in my visor. When he finally found his voice again, he sort of pointed ahead of him and mumbled, "Oh, I want to leave through here because the traffic is really bad, the other way because of the construction." I didn't let him finish and folded my arms, which wasn't exactly easy. Seriously, you do see all the kids running around, right? The big line, the cars, the games? And you still want to drive through here, especially with that mouth of yours? If anyone is a clown here, it's definitely not me or these guys. Nope, don't want to hear it. Stop shouting at my buddies, turn around, and leave the way that isn't full of kids, or I'll have the hospital security come deal with you. I was loving this. I never got to talk to people like this at my actual job. Without a word, he rolled up his windows, put the car in reverse, and drove away. Once he was gone, the volunteer who grabbed me high-fived his buddy, then me. Sorry for dragging you into this, man, but I couldn't find the actual manager, and this guy was pissed, and then I saw you, and I knew you would be perfect. I just laughed and told him it was no trouble, then that it was actually very enjoyable. Then I took a picture with the volunteers, chatted a bit about my costume, then headed back to my post and finished out the night content with my little revenge against all the Richard craniums in the world. Do you know what I think? I think I need a suit of armor. The fourth story. I stole it, but only on Mondays. So, I volunteer for a driving service locally. Few hours per week, I drive the elderly to the doctors and to the shops and such. My only responsibility is to bring them from A to B and back. But as it is often very frail, weak, or small people, I go into the shop with them and help them get stuff off shelves and such because I want to. It's a small community, a number of people know me in the area. This is fine. Well, I drive on Mondays only. This happened last Saturday when I went to the shops to do my own shopping. A lady I had not seen before, not the typical Karen look, she looked like a normal woman in her mid-50s, visibly stared at me as I walked past her. I think nothing of this. People are weird sometimes. I go about my shopping. She follows me. I know this is because I do a pretty unusual tour through the aisle since I know what I need and where. Near the register, we have walked past at least 3 uniformed shop employees by now. She just jams her cart in front of mine, blocking the way. Karen, excuse me, since you're obviously free, why haven't you offered to help me? I stare for a good 15 seconds because I don't know what I could possibly help her with. That she thinks I work there doesn't occur to me. I've never worked a day of retail in my life. I'm a journalist, nothing even close to what she's after. Me, with what? Karen, my shopping. Me, if you need help, I suggest an employee. Karen, but you are free. Me, I don't work here. Karen, obviously not. This startled me. I didn't expect her to agree with me, lol. Me, okay, then why would I help you? Karen, you work for local service. Me, no, I'm self-employed. I volunteer there on Mondays. Karen, then help me already. By now, other people have started peeking into our aisle, her shrill voice having alerted others. I can see one of the shopkeepers debate whether or not to step in. Sadly, no. Me, well, it's not Monday. If it was Monday, I still wouldn't help you because it's a member-only service. You're not a member, and if you were, I still wouldn't help you because my only responsibility is driving people around. I help sometimes because I wanted to, and I certainly don't want to help you. Karen, well, I don't care. Me, well, okay then, neither do I. I give her a cart push and walk past with mine to the register, start unloading my stuff. The cashier is already giving her and me side-eyed because she can see this isn't over. Karen, if you don't work here, how are you going to pay for that? You are going to pay, right? This startled both me and the shopkeeper. it is so dumb and I'm literally speechless for half a minute. Apparently, this shop is the only way to earn money now? I don't even know. Me, no, I figured I was just gonna rob the store to be honest. It is Saturday after all. Karen, you are so rude. I pay for my stuff, she's still following me, having abandoned her cart in the aisle. I stay near the counter to pack my groceries while she hovers around me still. Me, well, you understand I'm not going to help you at all, like ever, right? Karen, I will get you fired. Me, I'm self-employed. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to fire me. I managed to make it out the door, put my cart back, and carry my stuff back to my car. I almost think I ditched her when she appears again, next to me, yelling in my ears. Karen, that is not your car. I have a small seat, nothing fancy, but I own it outright. By now, honestly, I was just having a laugh at this tramp. Me, well then why do my keys unlock the door then? Karen, I've seen your car. Me, I mean we were standing in front of it. Karen, no, your real car, the VW. It dawns on me what she means. The local service has two brand spanking new giant 7-seater electric cars completely covered with stickers, ads, and so on for the driver service. Cars are white, stickers orange, and green, very distinct. It's tacky AF, but the cars are great for people with limited movement because they are big. How anyone could think a car with all those ads belongs to a random person is beyond me, to be honest. Me, well, that is not mine. This is. I just drives it sometimes. Karen, that is illegal. It's not? She ignores this completely as I get into the car, lowering the window so as to not tempt her to open the door or something. Karen, how did you get this car? Now, I'm a fairly small woman, just over 5 feet, very friendly face, generally quite approachable, but with a loud voice when I try. I tried. Me, well, I ducking stole it obviously, murdered the owner as well. Keep yapping and I'll show you where they're buried. With that, I throw the car in gear, absolutely stomp the pedal to the ground, and race to the other end of the parking lot. I see her frantically scramble to what I assume to be her car, but by the time she's in it, I've pulled into traffic and pretty much out of her sight. Just for fun, I parked a little down the road from my place next to another, identical seat, same model, same color, very similar license plates, just in case she comes looking. Sadly, she didn't. I didn't see her or her car again. Sad face. I was actually a little nervous that I'd get into trouble with the police or something for yelling that in the case she reported me or something, but it seems that she's not that crazy. What a bonkers of a woman! Kudos to you, OP. I found your responses entertaining. Very clever. The fifth story. Not my store, not my problem. For the record, I do work for Walmart and did at the time of the story. My oldest niece goes to college just a couple of hours drive from my home. Every so often, I'd make a drive out on my day off to visit with her and make sure she had everything she needed. Her mom covered the rent on her apartment, she walked most everywhere, and most stores she needed were within walking distance except for the local Walmart. So, during a visit, she thought of a few things she needed from the store. No big deal, we head over there. We wander around and gather the supplies she needed. A few school supplies, a movie that had just released, some fabric for her latest cosplay idea. And we're looking over the game case, commenting on some recent releases and mulling a purchase. Enter customer. Customer. Excuse me, I need a game out of here. Would you unlock it for me? Me, sorry, I don't work here, but I see the guy with the keys right over there. It's my day off, and I'm not in anything that could remotely be construed as dress code for Walmart, much less a name tag. Customer. Now, I recognize you. I know you work here. Please stop being another lazy freak and let me get that game. Me. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't work here. I cannot open any case. Customer. Oh, shut up. Look, I get it. You're lazy. You're flirting with a little twit here. You think you're gonna get in her pants. You work here. It's your job to provide customer service. Me, ma'am, this is my niece. She attends college here and I don't even live in this town. Please leave. Customer, what is your manager's name? I'm going to file a complaint. At this point, I realize I can have a little fun with this, especially as my manager at the time has a love of snarky behavior and a no-nonsense attitude when it comes to customer like this. I give her my manager's name and cell phone number, knowing he was also off that day. He listens to the complaint, then asks which store she's in, because that doesn't sound like the kind of person he wants working under him. She is confused, but gives the college town name. I hear him laugh over the phone loudly. Then he tells her in no uncertain terms that I don't work at that store and to leave me alone. And then he hangs up before she can get a word in edgewise. Customer, oh, very funny. Getting some friend of yours to cover it for you. Now, get me that game. At this point, the actual associate comes up and asks which game. She angrily points at it. He unlocks the case and gets a copy out. Customer, at least someone around here can do their darn job. You need to tell your coworker here to stop thinking with his potato. Local associate, ma'am, he's another customer. He doesn't work here. And please don't use that sort of language in the store. Customer, another cover story, Doc. Local associate, ma'am, please refraining from swearing in the store. There are children nearby. Customer, I'll screw you and your whole ducking store and your ducking horny butt dogs who don't do their ducking jobs. Duck your ducking crap. I'm going to GameStop. This attracts the attention of the store manager, who comes over to see what the commotion is. Store manager, after listening to a profanity-laden rant about the poor customer service, ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You're harassing other customers, pointing at me and my niece, belittling my staff, pointing at the actual electronics guy, and your language is not appreciated in Walmart. The exit is this way. If you do not want to leave of your own accord, I can have the police escort you out. It finally sinks in that I was telling the truth all along. Color drained from her face as she slowly walked away, abandoning the cartload of merchandise she'd already selected. I noticed her again on our way out, just staring blankly into her steering wheel. Apparently, I do not work here is not in the English dictionary for her. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.